being recorded now. Now it's being recorded. And we will make the recording available on our website, as well as the slides will also be available on our website after this meeting. If you have any questions, cbts@tamu.edu is our general email inbox. And then, oh, thank you, that's our website. If you have any questions, we will hopefully have time to answer those at the end. Please put it in the chat, and I will let my colleague, Chris Camardo, handle those. So a round of real quick introductions before we begin. I'm the Executive Director of Cross-Border Threat Screening and Supply Chain Defense, otherwise known as CBTS. Heather Manley Lillybridge. So I'll be doing most of the talking today, but as far as the real work that is going to happen, that's going to be with our two faculty mentors, Dr. Wong and Dr. Hamid. And Chris Camardo is our Program Manager and Director of Finance for the center, my partner in crime, and then the good Dr. Nelson, who is the Vice Chancellor for the Academic Alliance, is also on the line. So without further ado, I will share my screen and we will get started. Can everybody see my slides?
You're good.
Okay, great. Thank you, everyone. This is just our landing page. We are partnering. So we are actually based out of Texas A&M University. Chris and I actually sit over in AgriLife, but our partners for this are the RELIS, Academic Alliance, and Commerce. So what is a Center of Excellence, you might be wondering? Well, there are a number of us, actually 7 centers nationwide that are sponsored by DHS, and we have room for up to 10. So there might be a few more that'll come online later. We each have our own mission areas and different aspects of Homeland Security that we address through education and research. There are 2 at A&M. So that has never happened in the history of the center. So whoop for all of us here. We have 5 more years, so hopefully this is our first summer and this will continue for many more. For those of you that are unfamiliar with the Department of Homeland Security, it was established in 2002, so quite a few years ago. And we actually fall under something called the Science and Technology Directorate. They are the ones that do the research and do education. They issue funding to really address the challenges that Homeland Security faces. And specifically, we are under a group called the Office of University Programs. You don't need to worry about this. There won't be a test later, but wanted to give you just a flavor of who we are and what we're about. You can see all of and it's alphabet soup. You'll be more familiar by the end of the summer, but those are all the different components of Homeland Security. We primarily, as I mentioned, work with science and technology, countering weapons of mass destruction, and customs and border protection. Also, CISA, which is critical infrastructure protection. So what is our purpose? I mentioned there are a bunch of us and we all have different focus areas. Primarily, we are focused on supply chain defense, but also addressing threats that come across our border. So these could be threats that impact human, animal health, the economy. We have actually a pretty broad mission. So as I mentioned, threats, we have a few pictures of some of the threats in question. When we're talking about human health, it could be pathogens, insect pests, it could be toxic chemicals and substances. For ag health, invasive species, invasive pests, things that could really wipe out our livestock or our agricultural production systems. But then also supply chains, if you think about chip shortage and the critical infrastructure involved there. And so what are we primarily interested in for this summer program? It's cybersecurity, and I am not the expert in that. I'm a biologist, but that is actually one of the critical infrastructures. All of our information can be found on our CBTS website. There's the cbts.tamu.edu. Encourage you to poke around, check it out. We also have a tab for student opportunities, and that's where you will find your application and more information about this program. And that's also where the slides and this video will be posted later. So what is the program? Glad you're here. It's going to be 10 weeks and it's going to be hands-on in 2 different locations. Here, and I can't really point to this office, but here being the Academic Alliance over on the Rellis campus, and then also up at TAMU Commerce. And there will be travel between the 2. So you will have a primary location where you will be doing your research, but we do have a number of field trips and opportunities to interact with the entire team. The summer will involve not only work in the lab on a couple of different projects, but we'll also bring in Department of Homeland Security personnel to talk about their jobs, their career path, what they are looking for when they want to hire someone. Sometimes they want someone just out of college. Sometimes they want people with different certifications. Sometimes they want people with master's or PhD degrees. So you'll hear about different types of careers and how these people got to where they are. We are going to have a field trip, and I don't want to speak out of turn because we're still working on it, but we're working very closely with the Coast Guard and with the Science and Technology Directorate. So we will hopefully have that lined up for this summer. And we also are going to talk to you about professional development. So how do you read a scientific paper? How do you give an elevator pitch? So when I went through graduate school, my mom would ask me, what are you doing? I worked on a protein that 5 people in the world cared about. Does my mom care about that? No. But when you're talking to sponsors or your family or your friends and they ask, what do? You should be able to, and we will help give you the skills to be able to give a succinct elevator pitch. And we call it an elevator pitch because we want you to be able to give it in the time that it takes to ride up or down in an elevator. We're going to have papers at the end that could be submitted for publications, and we'll encourage you to do a poster. So everything that could help you in your graduate school career path later, if that's what you decide to do. And also, as I mentioned, some of these jobs, you don't have to go get a master's or a PhD. So how do you look for a government job if that's what you want to do? How do you apply? It's a little different than applying for a job at a company, and we'll talk through those sorts of things. So application. So this is very important. The biggest thing is the deadline. April 11th, no later than midnight Central Time for all of your materials. So when you go to our website, and I will give you all a preview of that, there's an application form. It's pretty basic. What's your name, your GPA, where are you living, those sorts of things. But then more importantly, we're asking for a resume. Please set your best foot forward, make it professional, succinct. And what we're looking for there is really, what are your achievements? What makes you stand out from the rest of the pack? Have you done any research? It's not a prerequisite, but if you have, that is very, very exciting. What are your extracurricular activities? Have you had any awards or other internships? Have you had a crummy student job that maybe is not going to benefit you in your career path, but it really made you a solid person? I parked cars and I packed Irish Spring. Did that help get me to graduate school? No. But I think it's important to show that you are dedicated, that you can do a job no matter what that job is. And then we'll ask for a cover letter. So this is where you really get to tell us tell us who you are, why you're interested in this. We want you to focus on why you think you're a good candidate and how you think, not knowing a lot about this program, but how you think it might help your future career goals, and then what those career goals might be, if it's to get a job after graduation or to go on to graduate school. We're not asking for a thesis dissertation, but 500 to 1,000 words. Give us a good feel of who you are. And then the last on the application form is to give us a professional reference, someone who can talk to your strengths and abilities. Maybe it's a professor, maybe it's a former boss, but someone that we can contact and ask them about you. So it would be a really good idea to give them a heads up that they will be getting a call about you. And as I mentioned, I'll mention again, application deadline. We're trying to make it pretty easy. Just email everything to the CBTS inbox. So our Summer Research Institute, as I briefly introduced our two faculty mentors, before we get into what the projects are and a little bit more about our mentors, I'm going to show you the application. Let me put this over on my other screen. So it's pretty quick. It mentions, again, a reminder of the 3 things that you need to fill out: the form, the resume, and the cover letter. So pretty easy, as I mentioned. Your name, are you available? If you're not available for the entire 10 weeks, maybe you have a wedding to go to or your little sister's birthday, just, let us know what your availability might be. What your GPA is and where you are in your student career. And then your move that, sorry. And then your reference. Let me put that back, and then I will go to our website. So move this real quick. So if you see the tabs up at the top, you will arrive on our homepage, and the student opportunities, the Summer Research Institute, is all the way here to the right. It talks at a high level, pretty much everything that I just said. It's 10 weeks and what we're about, the activities, and then there are 2 this summer, and the cybersecurity one is the one right here. If I click on that, it will go down. This is the information session, which you guys are ahead of the curve. You're online. Here's where you can download the application. Here's the homepage, and then that will all be submitted to the CBTS website. So with that, I will turn this over to our faculty mentors to talk a little bit about themselves, and I will stop talking.
Thanks, Heather, and thanks everybody for joining. I'm one of the mentors. I will be one of the mentors once this starts. I'm with the Redis campus, so some of you have already seen me in classes. If you are a student, a TAMU student at the Redis campus. We're excited about this because it's an opportunity to gain a hands-on experience on problems that matter. So we're working on 2 exciting projects. We'll talk about them in a minute, but they actually are an input from talking to people in DHS and in US Science and Technology and the US Coast Guard. So we did not come up with a problem, we just got the problem from them. So I'm very excited for that. I am within the cybersecurity bachelor's program here, and I also teach courses for computer science and computer information systems. We are fortunate to have a facility here that has a lot of equipment that we can use, and we're DHS will hopefully support us to actually get more equipment into the SCADA lab where we can do some of the OT part of this project. So I'll take a quick snap at the projects just to get you to know what they are on a high level. We're not getting into details, but one of them is related to US Coast Guard. So you know that Coast Guard equip many of the most state-of-the-art kind of transportation when it comes to vessels. And those vessels come equipped with cyber systems. And because they are involved in critical missions, it's very important to understand what are the risks that are related to them. In order to understand the risks that are related, we have to understand how those systems work. So the experience will be actually getting to know, understand those systems, and they have information technology and operational technology equipment. And we'll, as Heather said, there are preparations going underway. Maybe we'll be lucky and we will get to see either a ship or a moving bridge. We're excited, and we'll have the suspension to know what, but we will have a field trip. Now, in this particular project, we will have a lot of hands-on experience with OT equipment. So you will be able to set up the equipment, understand how it works, and then try to understand what could go wrong on purpose, right? The second project is, have you ever dialed 911? Hopefully you didn't have to, but at least you know it's there if you need it. So what's special about 911? 911, you can dial it from any calling device, from a phone, from a landline, from anywhere. And you should be guaranteed to get connected to a respondent, a correspondent, a center that will connect you with the services that you need at that emergency. So it's a very special type of network. It's very critical. And Department of Homeland Security has a lot of projects that are focused on making this modern, up to date from a technology perspective, but also very reliable and resilient. Like when it comes to cyber attacks, we want to make sure that these networks are very secure. So we will get a chance to actually work with people who are working with DHS on NG99 projects, understand the complex networks. So if you go Heather to the next slide. This is an example part of the NG99 network. Get to really understand it, talk to people who work with it, who do research and applied research on it, and then try to answer the questions if we are to assess what could go wrong, especially considering existing technologies and future technologies, things that are coming in the pipeline, like quantum computing, all of that stuff. What could go wrong? So I'm very excited for this one as well. Overall, what is expected from you at the end of the 10 weeks? So at the end of the 10 weeks, we need to show that what we have worked on. So part of that will be a poster, as Heather said. If we come to do really interesting discoveries, we will have the opportunity to write and publish a paper that you will be the first author on. And you will get to present your work to the whole team, and maybe we'll have some external stakeholders to attend that presentation as well. How many people are we looking to hire for this internship? So each project will need 4 students to work on it, and we want you to work and partner between the 2 campuses, between RLS and Commerce. So as you have seen in the application, I don't think there's a place for them to select a project, Heather, in the application, right? So once you get admitted and selected for the internship, that is something that we will organize internally and say, okay, and we'll talk to you as part of the interview and like the assessment afterwards to coordinate who's working on what. So total of 8 students, 4 students from RLS and 4 students from Commerce. And then they split 2 + 2, and you get to see each other in person at least twice during the 10 weeks. No, 4 times. You get to see each other 4 times. And with that, I'll give it back to Yohua to present herself.
Hi, everyone. And I think, and probably you'll go from my class, and also you can hear me, right? Yeah. So this is Yuhua Wang, I think, and I have seen some familiar faces, and they are from my classes. I'm so glad that you can make to attend this meeting, and you're going to get the very important information. As Heather and Iman mentioned, and this is really valuable opportunity. Actually, this is the first time and for us and to hold this program. You're going to get the well-trained and actually in all courses, and we just have the general overview about the cybersecurity issues. So actually this opportunity, we're going to dive into the detail and to look at the research problem. It's not just what the problem is, what is current solution, then we are going to go to another topic. Actually, it is totally not. We are going to have some devices. You are going to use your eye and use your experience and to find out the problem. And then we are going to do the research collaboratively. So you are going to have group, and to help you, we have mentors, we have professors, and also we have the very good expert from different area and give you some ideas. So, and this is really a valuable opportunity, and I recommend everyone going to apply and to just base it on our applied materials and to sell yourself to us. And also we are going to base on experience and to see and who is going to be the best person and join us. And we hope we can have this program multiple years. So probably, and this year you're going to collect information. Next year you're going to be more ready, and maybe due to your experience, maybe during the time. And let us know, and if you have any questions. Thank you.
Okay, great. Well, I see William Hatcher. I see your hand up. Do you want to ask your question?
My question was already answered. I meant to lower my hand.
Oh, no worries. Okay.
Actually, I just remembered I did have another question, if you don't mind.
Sure.
You said that we'll be traveling between the two campuses. Will we have to provide our own travel, or will travel be provided and or paid for?
That is a fantastic question. We will most likely coordinate transportation. So if you don't have a car, that's not a problem. And we did put in a travel budget, so nobody's going to be out any money for any of these trips that we take. And I did mention this is a paid opportunity, but I didn't mention how much. That's because our budget is currently under approved or is being considered by DHS, but it's going to be in the realm of what NSF pays students. So to 5 to 6K is the range that we put into the budget for the 10 weeks.
Richard has a question. Go ahead.
Oh, what primary languages are used in cybersecurity?
For programming, most probably we'll be interacting with Python and C++ if we need. But from OT perspective, you're not expected to know what's related to OT. You will learn it there. So there might be some ladder logic and control commands. It's a different language, but you'll learn it there. Don't worry.
Yeah, we are going to guide you there and to provide you the guidance like the introduction and fundamental syntax rules, and let you to follow the examples, and also we're going to help you. No worries. And besides, and I also want to mention, if you take this opportunity, and also you can have the chance and to take the internship course for CSCI 405. So if you want to enroll that course, and after that, you're going to get the 3 credit hours. This is separate registration.
So that's the internship course, because this is a 10 weeks program. So you qualify to count it as an internship. So, and we did get the approval from the department that this will count as an internship. So you get to do knock 2 birds in one. So William has a question. What is OT? So that's one of the projects, not the 2 projects. OT is a specific type of technologies that are more related to things that happen in life. Think about robotics, think about cars, think about manufacturing. These are things that require control, ships, all of that stuff. So these are, they are technology, but they have a specific name that's operational technology, because they are involved in a process that impacts phenomena around you, right? Yeah, temperature, movement, all of that stuff. Other questions? Who's gonna apply? I wish I'm not a student. I wish this was available to me. Awesome.
And if anyone has any questions after this, please feel free to reach out on the flyer for the informational session, which is also on our website, or Dr. Wong and Dr. Hamad's email addresses, or you can send questions to the general email address for CBTS. I put that in the chat, cbts@ag.tamu.edu. I'm not a subject matter expert, so if it's anything technical, I will pass that along and make sure you get an answer.
And the last thing, if you need help reviewing your application material, Dr. Wang and I are more than helpful, more than happy to support you. Like, don't worry, like we want to guide you through the process. The other thing is, don't think about this from the money or something, or all of the other angles. Think about this from a resume builder perspective. So you get to say, I did an internship with Department of Homeland Security on cybersecurity, right? So I think it's a great opportunity. Like, try to make sure that you do not miss the deadline. Prepare it and send your material as soon as you get it ready. Don't wait for the deadline. There's another question, the emails. Can share. So my email, I'll put my email in the chat, but they're available on the website as well.
And we will meet about once a week, but the lab activities will be every day.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why we're offering a stipend. So you don't have to have another job or something to help pay the bills. You know, we want this opportunity to be open to everybody. Okay, so I booked an hour, but we're ahead of time. So yeah, any further questions after this? You have our contact information, and we look forward to receiving your applications. Thank you so much for your time today and for your interest in this summer program, and we're very excited to have you. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Goodbye.